Yo guys, what is up and welcome back to a brand new video here today and another episode of my F1 2019 modded career mode here today for round 18 of the season for the Mexican Grand Prix. If you guys missed the last episode at Japan, you can go see it by clicking the link in the top right hand corner of your screen to go see exactly what happened in that race, in which there was a pretty significant battle between myself and Max Verstappen, of course, for the World Drivers' Championship, and also the Constructors is going to go down to the wire, it seems, at the moment, the way things are going. But guys, before we jump into it, a small disclaimer. Unfortunately, there won't be replay cams in today's video. I had an issue with my game. I had a small game crash and I wasn't able to access the replay cameras after the race, so I do apologise for that in advance. But we're now going to jump into action here this weekend, and first of all, you can see on screen no rain is expected or forecast this weekend, and also in terms of upgrades, no teams have brought anything this weekend, and I don't think that's going to change now as everyone's trying to save up points for the regulation change next season, in which the aerodynamics are going to get reset. But we're now going to move into qualifying here today at Mexico, and in this session we are going to go for 3 runs as always, so we're going to see how we get on here in this session. My best run was actually my second one, so we'll see that in a moment's time. First of all though, we're going to jump on board with the end of my first run, and to be fair, this was a pretty good banker lap. Not the best, but besides sector 1, sectors 2 and 3 were pretty strong actually. But we're now going to cut on to my best lap of the session to see exactly what I did around this circuit, which is a very short lap now with these cars, and we're going to see if we can try and get ourselves back on the top spot because Verstappen did just knock us off. So let's go on board with the full lap here of the Mexico City circuit. And here we go at the final corner, up to the line, and we do go P1, and we take back top spot there as we improved by pretty much 0.2 of a second. But unfortunately for us, it wasn't perfect as the final run was even quicker. I was a 1/10.5 up as the session was about to end, and things were looking really, really good. Verstappen is on a lap behind us, but you can see here a 1/10.5 up, purple sector 2. But then unfortunately, I ran just a little bit wide there through the right hand. I picked up an invalidation, and that is going to ruin my final run. And of course, you know who's going to pick up the pieces due to a failed run. It's going to be the man himself, Max Verstappen, and he actually takes back first place by less than a 1/10. And you know, had we finished that lap, we may have just got into the 1 minute 10s and taken back top spot. But that is your end of qualifying session, and you can see on screen there are the race results, or the qualifying results should I say, as Max Verstappen secures another pole position here today. We managed to join him on the front row with George Russell in third place, with Kvyat alongside him in P4. Then it's an all Mercedes third row of Sebastian Vettel ahead of Antonio Giovinazzi, Charles Leclerc, Perez, Hamilton and Bottas round off the top 10 there. And then elsewhere we do have Carlos Sainz in the second McLaren P11 with Hulkenberg alongside him. Then it's Pierre Gasly 13th with Kevin Magnussen in P14. Then it's Ricciardo and Albon on the next row of Raikkonen ahead of Norris, and then at the back it's Lance Stroll and Romain Grosjean once again. But that is your grid for the Mexican Grand Prix. But we're now going to move into the race, and hopefully we can try and beat Verstappen and secure those extra points. Let's jump into it. Let's get racing here for the Mexican Grand Prix. Right, so here we are then on the grid for the Mexican Grand Prix, starting on the front row, of course, alongside Max Verstappen. The target is simple: damage limitation. If we can win the race, that would be fantastic, and that's what I'm going to try and achieve. But we have to be realistic here. Verstappen does seem to be a little bit better than me. I should have had pole, I'm not going to lie. But the practice pace suggests that Verstappen still has some pace in store in his car. So I'm not 100% believing that I might be the outright fastest car around here. Having said that, I could be wrong. I might be surprised and we might actually have the pace. In terms of the strategy, the recommended one is a soft and medium strategy, a one-stopper. I'm not quite sure that's going to happen. Traditionally around here, the two-stop is the way to go. So we'll kind of see how that one pans out. But for now, we're going to start on the soft tyres and judge it on a lap-by-lap basis. Also, we're going to see what kind of strategy Verstappen goes for. And we are running 1.5 laps extra fuel. No rain expected today, so it's going to be a very simple, straightforward race. So let's jump into it and let's get racing here at Mexico. Here it is then. Let's get ready for the start of the race as the lights come on here at Mexico. And it's lights out and away we go. Not a terrible start, to be fair. I've had a lot worse, but Russell does get the jump on us, unfortunately, making it a 1-2 for Red Bull. We are getting him back, though, on the straight. We are going to have a look on the inside. Into turn number 1. Got Kvyat on the outside of us here. I think it's 3 wide, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's not. It's just 2 wide, but Kvyat does make the move. Side by side with that teammate. We get the traction down and we get back in front for now. We're still side by side, though. We've got Sebastian Vettel also looking for a move behind in the Mercedes. Sebastian looking for the move, as is Kvyat. Side by side with my teammate, but we do get the better line on the inside and we get past and back up into 3rd place. We had to be a bit aggressive with one teammate there, but I had to get this position. Currently a Red Bull 1-2, which is not exactly what I had in mind, but I'm sure they'll be very happy with that. For now, let's see what the pace is like with the cars we sell into this race and whether we can attack these guys. We know traditionally we've always been a bit faster than Russell historically this season, but this is going to give Verstappen a chance to break away, just like the last race in Japan. But in the last race, of course, Max had car issues, which gave us a chance to win the race. Will that happen again? I'm not quite sure. I'm not really banking on it, so we've got to try and, get the job done on track. That's lap 2 draws to a close. Verstappen hasn't pulled away that much. DRS will now be enabled. Russell's actually kept up with his teammate quite well, and we also kept onto the back of the Red Bulls.
DRS is now enabled and will be available to use when you are within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone.
We have actually pulled away from Kvyat a bit, and the gap is just over a second, so we might just be out of DRS with my teammate, which is a good and a bad thing. I want to try and drag him along for the battle, but if he can't keep up, he can't keep up, so he might be in trouble in terms of battling those behind him. But we're focused on getting past George Russell here, as Verstappen now is starting to just edge away a little bit. So let's see if we can get past the second Red Bull. Right through the final corner. Russell won't have DRS on Verstappen, so this might be our chance to get past. Bit of a slow lap now. I feel like I'm struggling on my tyres already, but here we go. DRS open, full engine mode, and look at the speed difference as we close up on the Red Bull. We've got very low wings. We're running very aggressive top speed. 360 k's as we make the move, and we take back the racing line. So we're up to 2nd place in this race now, and we get the double DRS, although we get massively loose on the exit of turn 3. That's going to put us on the back foot a little bit. Luckily for us, DRS is going to help, and we can keep George Russell behind. Yep, for now it feels looking good. Everything's looking okay. This has also brought Kvyat back into place, so hopefully he can try and fight with George Russell now, as we now begin our hunt to try and get ourselves onto the back of our championship rival, Max Verstappen. I'm definitely struggling for pace compared to Verstappen. Max is really quick. The gap is going up, 2.6 seconds now. I've got so much understeer in the setup, I'm not quite sure what's happening, but the front end just isn't biting into the corners. I'm having to put a lot more lock on than I'd like, and the back end doesn't feel super stable. Oh, yellow flag. It's Kvyat. Kvyat's had an issue. He's out of the race. We've lost our teammate. This isn't good for the Constructors' Championship.
Green flag.
There's confirmation. Kvyat out of the race. And I'm really struggling for pace here. Russell is going to get close to us again. I'm going to have to turn the engine up. Our straight line speed is incredibly good. But here comes George with the DRS. He's going to go to the outside. Now he's struggling to pick up speed as we go side by side to turn 1. But the Red Bull feels a stronger car this weekend. Russell gets the move done. I tried to go on the outside and get a switch back, but I'm really struggling for just general pace. I've requested a bit more front wing on my next stop to give me a bit more front end because I'm struggling. But it doesn't feel great. I'm not confident with the setup. The car feels very loose.
Some information on Russell. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
And straight away, it's balanced itself out. George Russell will now have issues with his car. Obviously, at this point, certain cars are struggling with reliability. But here we go. We're going to get a chance to get back past the Red Bull driver straight away. Not yet, though. We're not quite close enough into turn 1. But this is going to give us a lifeline to hold on to 2nd place because I was really struggling with my car and the pace. But here we go. Let's get him back and let's secure the 2nd place. Slipstream. Go to the outside. There we go. Job done. Easy on the brakes, bit of a lock up, but that's okay. Gap to Verstappen now 4.5. He's absolutely running away with it out front. Just can't match his pace here today. Let's focus on securing the 2nd place though, and that'd be damage limitation for the championship. Verstappen pits. So we're going to take the lead of the race. Sebastian Vettel actually is not too far away and he's keeping up. Just looking at my tyre wear, 45 on the left rear. We're scheduled to pit on what lap? Lap 14. I'm just not sure if I'm going to make that, to be honest with you. I'm not sure. We're going to have to convert to a 2-stop. I'm not feeling confident. I'm really struggling on the rubber, and now Sebastian Vettel's closing me down. I just don't know if we can get another 3 laps out of this. We're going to pit. Verstappen is... We're going to pit. I'm not liking this. The car feels horrible. I tried a few setup changes compared to my usual setup around here to adapt to the faster cars, and it's completely backfired on me. It worked in qualifying, but it's not working in race pace. So let's get onto the mediums. We're going to make a front wing adjustment as well. Hopefully it will help.
Exit now.
1.9, good stop. Now we're going to see what the traffic situation is. There is Verstappen, I believe. Yeah, there he is. He's in that little bunch of cars. We're going to rejoin, it looks like, down at P17 or P16.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
Here we are up to speed. Perez behind us. He's on soft tyres, so he must have pit already. We've got both Williams in front battling away, but we're now down to P16 in this race. Let's see if the wing change makes a difference. The car just feels very floaty. I've got no feeling in the wheel. It feels very light, almost like I've got no force feedback. Okay, we're stuck behind both Williams cars now. Perez, of course, behind us as well, looking for a move. He's going to be fast on those soft tyres, so we've got to try and make light work of these guys. We should be able to get them both on the straight with that straight line speed. Even with a bit more front wing, we should be okay. Get a nice clean exit. There we go. Turn the engine up. And this should be a nice, simple double overtake. More cars in the pit lane as we jump up to P12, make that P11 as we just get out ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel actually going for the hard tyre, surprisingly, as we pull off the double overtake on the Williams cars. As expected. Job done. Up to P9 now into the points, but we've got more cars to get past, so we're not done yet. Perez also getting the job done on both cars behind, so he's following us through at the minute. Let's try and push. Sebastian Vettel stuck in that traffic. Good chance to open up a gap to the Mercedes driver. Ricciardo is super slow here. We're so much faster. I can just feel the difference in his pace on the fresh tyres. So we walk past through the S's. You can really tell, you know, worn tyres around here, they're so slow. Regardless of setup issues, you know, when your tyres go to like past 40% around here, you're going to be in big trouble. Let's see if we can just get DRS off of Giovinazzi here and try and maybe get close to him on the pit straight. He's also on those soft tyres, but he does actually box, so that's going to give us a couple of free positions as there's more cars in the pit lane. So we're now up to P5 in this race, so we're making that progress. Good stuff from us. Good start on these medium tyres. The car still doesn't feel great, but the fresh rubber is definitely making a difference. More cars in the pit lane. So we're going to take back third place in this race. We're now currently behind Alex Albon in the Haas in front of us. We should close the gap quite nicely on this straight. There's no DRS, but you know, we know how good our straight line speed is. Verstappen now is long gone out front. He's really in a league of his own today. I can't match his pace. Really goes to show that qualifying was a one-off. We had Saturday pace, but not Sunday pace. Here we are then, all over the back of Albon. He's actually going quite slow. It's costing me a little bit of time here as Perez closes up the gap. Just really struggling on those mediums. Again, maybe his tyres are starting to go, and you can notice it. Here we go. This should be an easy move. I may not even have to turn my engine up. DRS should do the trick. Perez behind us, though, looking for a move as well. We're in the racing point. We've got to be careful.
Some information on Giovinazzi. It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car.
Alright, so Giovinazzi out of the race as we make the move on Albon into turn 1. Very easy move. He defends the inside, but we just walk past on the racing line with the straight line speed advantage. And we get the double DRS, and we don't have to turn the engine up, which is good. We save a bit of fuel, which is always great. We're now up to P2 once again. That was a bit of a better lap from us. We still haven't set a personal best, though, on the fresh tyres. Perez is catching me, and to be fair, if he does pass me, he could become a threat in this race. He does seem to have good pace. I'm struggling again. The pace is just not there at the minute, and I can't really go much faster than this. Like I said, I don't really have much feeling. The car feels very floaty. Just got to try and survive this race. Here comes Perez. He might actually get a run on us here. I'm going to have to turn the engine up last minute. But Perez does go for it. He caught me out. I thought he was quite good for straight line speed, but that racing point still managing to turn the engine up. We do stay in front, and we get a really nice exit. So that's going to take the pressure off for now, but Perez completely caught me napping there. I wasn't really expecting that one bit. I think Perez is going to get me here. I'm really starting to struggle now, and Perez has been on those soft tyres for a long time. But here he comes. I'm going to go to the inside, show him the long way around. But we know how fast the racing point is on the straight. Oh, God, he just turns in there, so we have to back out. Sebastian Vettel, meanwhile, behind us. He's not too far behind. He's on the hard tyres. He's probably going to go to the finish, so At the minute, a podium is looking tricky. It really is. Our pace is just not there today. And we've still got a few more laps to go on these tyres. We've got to wait until we go into another set of mediums. I've just got no grip at all. I'm expecting Perez to pit any lap now. He's been on that soft tyre for a little while. And there he goes. So we're going to reclaim P2. But Perez now is in a net P2. He's going to get the benefit of fresh tyres. So I'm not sure if he'll go for the mediums or the hards, but he's going to get the fresh tyre benefit. So Perez, for me now, has that second place locked up. So at the minute we're fighting Sebastian Vettel, who's on the hard tyres behind us, going to the finish, I presume, who we're battling for that final step on the podium. So at the minute it's looking bleak for us. The tyres feel horrible, but the tyre wear is only 22%. It's actually quite good. So the setup isn't killing my tyres, but the car just doesn't feel enjoyable to drive one bit. We are pulling away from Seb behind us, which is good. The pace, to be fair, is actually, we're matching Verstappen at the moment. Even though I'm not happy at all, the car does not feel fun to drive. Somehow, we're matching Max Verstappen's pace, which is very, very impressive. I'm happy with that. But Max for now is still staying out. I was going to pit this lap for another set of mediums, but looking at my tyre wear, I'm debating if I should risk it and go to the finish. The car's going to feel even worse, but if Verstappen does pit again, it's going to be our only chance of beating him. And we may stay ahead of Vettel and also Perez later on. So I thought this is the best bet for us to stay out, try and get these tyres to the end somehow, and that would give us at least a podium, I think. Okay, Verstappen pits. I'm presuming he's going to go into the soft tyres, seeing as he's gone quite long in the second stint. Yes, he is. Right, we're going to take the lead. The gap won't be massive. Looking at my tyre wear, I think we can do this. I'm going to commit to going to the finish on these tyres, and hopefully we can try and at least get a podium. I think this is a much more safe bet in terms of strategy. I feel a lot more confident about getting a podium with this, because if we did pit for another set of tyres, it would depend on us using our pace, which we don't have to get back through the field. So this is a much more safer bet. Right, 14.5 from us. The pace is improving a bit. The car's getting quite light now, so it's going back to kind of qualifying pace in a way. It's getting a lot lighter. Verstappen, though, 2 seconds faster than me on that lap. He's going to catch us. It's just a question of can we keep him behind somehow on these tyres and, you know, in these conditions. I'll try my best. One thing Verstappen is going to get is an extra point for the fastest lap. No one's going to beat that lap, that's for certain.
We expect the tyres are getting a bit worn at this point. You may notice a gradual loss in grip. They should still have a bit left though.
Yep, the tyres are going, but that's okay. Max is now in the back of us. This was his first attempt. We keep him behind quite easily. He wasn't really close enough to start with, but things will change as the laps go on. I mean, even hell, even this straight, we're not safe. I can't get the traction like he does. Here he goes. He's going to go to the outside. We're going to try and match him on the brakes. Down the inside, we're still there, but Verstappen goes all around the outside. We almost lose the back end there by putting a bit of throttle on. And we have to concede P1 in this race. Unfortunately, the grip on the soft tyres from Verstappen was too much. Looks good for P2 though. We're still comfortably ahead of Sebastian Vettel, and I think we're still around his pace. So that hard tyre really hasn't worked for Sebastian. So let's just keep at it and try and secure this second place finish. Right, here we go then. End of the race, last lap. We've done 25 laps on these mediums, an absolutely mammoth stint. The confetti goes up for Max Verstappen, who's going to win here today. But from us, it's damage limitation. A P2, the best we could do here today. We didn't have the pace, and you know the next race is not going to be any easier. USA is not a good track for me, but here we go across the line and in second place in Mexico.
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
So another fantastic victory for Red Bull today. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, I know it's a bit of a boring answer, but the truth is they simply had the best speed package on the day, and a driver who knows how to take advantage of that. It doesn't matter how much time you spend poring over the stats and planning strategies if you can't keep the pace, and our winner today showed they could do both.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
Well, it's job done here today at Mexico, and that is, as much as, you know, damage limitation is concerned, that is the best you're going to get. Verstappen does pick up 26 points here today. He absolutely dominated the race. Sebastian Vettel holds on to third place in the end, with Carlos Sainz in fourth. Really good drive from him. Kevin Magnussen also having P5. Perez with that two-stop in the end only managed P6. I wonder if maybe he got wing damage, because I was expecting a lot more pace from him. You know, he finished 20 seconds behind me, which is what a pit stop takes around here. So I really thought when he boxed for those fresh mediums, he'd be a lot quicker in that final stint, but he didn't really get going. George Russell P7 after having issues with his car earlier on in the Grand Prix. Hulkenberg in 8th, Gasly in 9th, and Hamilton rounds off the top 10 here today. Missing out the points, we have Charles Leclerc, Valtteri Bottas, Alexander Albon, Kimi Raikkonen, Lance Stroll, Romain Grosjean, Lando Norris, Daniel Ricciardo, and then Antonio Giovinazzi and my teammate Danny Kvyat do retire from the race here today. So in terms of the championships, the gaps are going to come down in both of those. In terms of the drivers, Verstappen is 42 points behind with 3 races remaining. There's 75 points up for grabs, and I've got to say the next race at USA is not a good track for me. If we get second place in that race, I'll be very happy and very impressed, because I've never been fast around there, and it's not a track I particularly love. You know, even when the car's working well, I can enjoy it a bit. But for some reason, I've just never been fast around there. So that's going to be a tricky track. Brazil's going to be the big chance for us, because that track is a good one for me. You know, not in terms of pace, but strategy's always been pretty good for us around there. The AI are pretty retarded when it comes to strategy. And then Abu Dhabi is probably my worst track on the calendar in terms of pace versus the AI. They're really, really good, especially Sector 3. So the tracks don't favour us. This is why we have a big cushion, because I'll try my hardest to build a gap up before the final couple of races. So out of the 3 last races, Brazil is going to be the one we have a chance in terms of beating Verstappen. But currently, Kvyat, you can see they're 15 or 16 points ahead of George Russell in the championship. And in terms of the constructor standings, we are 59 points clear of Red Bull. So the gap does come down quite substantially in this race, and that fight is still on, especially if Red Bull outscore us in the remaining 3 races. But guys, that is going to be it from this episode of Crew Mode here today. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like and subscribe if you are new for daily Formula 1 content on the channel. And also turn on notifications, guys, to not miss any of the uploads on my channel, which is daily content pretty much. And also finally, guys, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But that is it from me here today at Mexico, and I'll see you guys in the next one very soon for the US GP. But until then, it's goodbye from me.